We are back. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe? Just on the other side of the fountain, sir. Right the fuck there. You can see the feet when you said it. Was it out here in the open all along? No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. Moved it out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. Let's get down to it. What do we have here? Another pendant. That's 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? Hey, this baby's made of platinum silver too. Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. D. Is it possible that these two... Hold it right there. Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? Pendant. This is a very decisive piece of evidence. How can you tell? Look here and read off what you see. Lauren. Hey, it's a name that's engraved on it. Oh, we just know that it's Miss Pops? We have you now, Miss Kidnapper. Oh, you don't understand. Molly. I can't believe you were one of my kidnappers. Lance. You're kidding. Miss Pops was one of the kidnappers? Yes. It was me. I held Lance hostage. Miss Pops is one of the kidnappers. Even knowing that, I can't call this case solved or over. Hey guys, case closed. Get the car ready, and I mean the special one for this young lady.
Hold it!
Again, Mr. Prosecutor, what is it this time? Are you proposing that Miss Pops is also the culprit in the murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect. We found it. Found what? That officer's gun. He literally dropped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Your country's police are a sham. Just look at how careless they are. Who are you calling a sham? The officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon. So Officer Meekins... That's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you that said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? Miss Pops, did you really kill Mr. Deacon? Yes, I killed him. I can't believe it. Thanks for the confession.
Objection!
Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed. Look at you, so sure of yourself. You've got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for? Miss Lauren Pops. Yes? I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that has happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder. But why? I'm a kidnapper and the killer. Isn't that enough? Is she gonna cut her own hair off? I'll do it! Don't think I won't! It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that is the truth. Now then, tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't? I've had a change of heart. I think I'd enjoy seeing you sulk away as the losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear about all the evil deeds you committed today. Kidnapping plan. Oh, the one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Amano would pay anything to get his son back after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me. At least you have the guts to admit what you've done. I can at least respect that much. Miss Pops, is what you said really the truth? Yes, that's the truth. It certainly isn't the whole truth. There's something that seems a bit too improbable in fashion. This is... Why do you think he did? I have no idea. Maybe he had planned on doing so from the very beginning. Wait, Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Pops from the very beginning? Was it ever really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Yes. I'm sorry, but I don't think what you just claimed is all that likely. Huh? I don't think Mr. Deacon would have ever been capable of killing me. But why? We're total strangers. It's not common for people to kill each other.
Hold it!
That's fair. Miss Pops, you really are clueless, aren't you? What do you mean? Never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor do you know who you really are. I do. I can show you with this piece of it. This proves that Mr. Deacon would have been able to bring himself to kill Miss Pops. I'm going to assume it's... this?
Take that!
Pops, you don't know, do you? I still don't feel anything. No, I really feel like I don't know anything. Mr. Prosecutor, are you sure you're the one who doesn't know anything, isn't you? I see kidnappers also weep when they get stabbed in the back, even as you betray the one you claim to love the most. Oh, that's not, you don't understand. What's there to understand? You're on cat. I kind of feel sorry for her. I'm a little sorry for her too, however, I wish she would just close the trap.
Hold it!
There's objection.
Hold it!
Why are you showing this to me? But what about the pendant? Your wings, along with this piece of evidence, shows who you really are. Is the pendant?
Take that!
These two pendants resemble each other. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, you're right. They're the same color and they're even made of the same material. I believe that these two pendants are actually one. Shall we give it a try? Wow, it's totally Pegasus. But why? Why does my pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's? You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be. No, that can't be. So the two make a set. It's not as though this changes anything. You lack imagination, Lang. Agent Lang. Long Lang. Very well. I'll show you with this evidence. This is the piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus pendant. Now it's gotta be the dossier.
Take that!
Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Deveray. He didn't look extra the horse pendant. What's an alias? I suppose he had to hide the fact that he fell in somehow. And it makes sense, given what was written in Mr. Deveray's dossier. But what I really wanted to point out was this.
Take that!
Mr. Deveray had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Pops. That's a lie. That person is not my father. He couldn't come out and tell you he was your father because he was in hiding. However, I believe that he was secretly trying to watch over you. You still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping? What's so funny, Agent Long? You're good at making things up in your head and deciding it's the truth, aren't you? What are you trying to say? Your thinking is much too innocent. After all, I've thought of another possibility. Is that so? Let's hear it. I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter. But isn't it possible that they both knew that fact? It was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amano. And the two of them made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well? See, I'm with him. Frankly. So this is his version of how things. You don't have any proof that either one didn't know of their true relationship, right? You mean they knowingly committed the kidnapping as father and daughter? That's right. One really rotten family. Tell you what happened? I'd better take a long, hard look at the evidence. There were
Objection!
Kidnapping wasn't planned by just two people alone. What kind of proof do you have of that? Quite simply, there were 3 kidnappers. 3! 4 costumes were stolen from the Wild Wild West era's back room. We found one of them in the kidnapper's hideout. But as for the other 3, we can assume they were being worn by 3 different people. We also found a set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that were used in the hideout. It all clearly points to a 3-man group. I believe this 3rd person is the real mastermind behind the kidnapping. Who? Who is this mastermind? I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping.
Take that!
Lance Amano? Yes, this abduction was in fact schemed up by Lance himself. Recall what he said when he appeared before us. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, I didn't see their faces, but 2. One was a woman. However, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said. But I know I only saw 2 people. This guy was being held hostage. It's possible he couldn't see all 3. Yes. About when you were being held. I have my doubts about what happened. Lance, would you mind telling us what happened while you were being held captive? I really don't remember much anymore. But if I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you? I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room, blindfolded the entire time. But the kidnapper suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that left me alone. I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could. Is he peeking through his fingers? Through the underground passageway, I presume. Are you okay? Sorry, I really didn't want to recall that horrible ordeal. Now you believe me, right? No, not quite. How can you not? Why do you look at me with icy daggers in your eyes? Because he's a prosecutor. And because they're all like that. I'll have you know, Agent Lang, a prosecutor's eyes are for discerning the truth. Should they be interpreted to be cruel at times, then so be it. There is a sticking point in Lance's testimony. Let's see what he offers up when I push a little.
Hold it!
How did you manage to escape? I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked. That's why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. I remember our escape to be equally as hard. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. I mustn't let it. It wasn't, though.
Objection!
You say that the door leading outside was locked, but was it really? Oh. We're talking about that room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open, right, Sheena? Yes, that's correct. Take a look at this. What is that? Sword? Not an especially reliable one if it's broken like that. Allow me to start from the end. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. It was simply held shut by this sword, which would jam the handle. Lance, even though your hands were cuffed together, you could still use them. If that's the case, then why did you not simply just remove the sword and escape? Why didn't I was disoriented. Yes, that's it. I didn't notice it. As if I should accept that such a bold-faced lie. You locked yourself in that room because you had to make yourself look like your victim. But you did not, in fact, possess the key to the door. That is why you used the prop sword to improvise and create a prison of your very
Not so fast!
You've been making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. I wonder if you forgot something very important. But motive? What else? You honestly think that an uptight, pure boy like you would hatch up a kidnapping?
Objection!
Yes, I do. Oh, this.
Take that!
Put it simply, Lance has a very urgent need for money. This is hardly your typical love letter. It is in fact a collections bill. It appears our upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance? Like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. It must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your old... Alright, I give up. I abducted myself. Lance! It's over, Lolly. In this life, we really are bound to our fates after all. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town, somewhere where no one would know us. I wanted us to be well off with that 1 million, but now that dream is over. Oh, and you are giving yourself up? Yes. I had planned to run away from this world with my Lolly. Oliver even helped us with the plan, but then he had to go and stab us in the back. He turned on you? Maybe he didn't want to split the ransom money, that's my guess. It happened almost right after you made the drop-off. We were alone. He attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside that room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up. Lolly left first in the Blue Badger costume. That would mean that the person Officer saw was Miss Potts. Right then, the old man just had to wake up. He's careless. He tackled me pretty hard for money. Then Oliver put on a bad Badger costume. Took the suitcase with $1 million and ran. I contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun. They had no idea that they were related, so I thought that it could only end badly. I still don't believe it. That person was not my father. Yes, he was. I just killed my own father. Then it really was you? Man was not my father. I mean, because at the stadium, there was a bad Badger suitcase with the $1 million. that badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot on the other person, crumpled to the ground. Oh, there was a gunshot. The other person crumpled to the ground, and I ran, scared for my life. Forgive me. I didn't forgive me. I've protected you. Miss Pops shot her head without it. She says it's true. Are you saying she's lying? But why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve? You would be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kit. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? What I mean is, listen carefully to her confession this morning.
Hold it!
Were you able to clearly see the gun? Yes, I got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, Father. Why would you try to shoot me? Do you think a father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edward? I don't want to believe it myself. But it's true. My father's left arm was... Woo! Excuse me. Father's left arm was raised with a gun in it. Pointed straight at me. I'm about to die, I thought. Miss Pops. Please calm down. Take a deep breath. And then, would you allow me to hear that last statement once more? So close.
Objection!
Miss Pops, the evidence stands clear in contradiction to your statement just now. Huh? Where? Not polite to confuse poor helpless girls, Mr. Prosecutor. So you have something significant to add. Stuff that jaboot of yours. It's a cravat. It's a fashion statement, not a gag. Just need to calmly listen and... Where this is going.
Objection!
I have here a dossier on your father. According to this, your father was right-handed. And the person pointing a gun at you from atop the stage was not Mr.
Knock him back!
Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. Bad Badger has a model gun attached to his right hand. Which is why the only hand he could have held the real gun with was his left. Isn't it possible that it went down like that? Agent Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Potts was saying? Then again, I suppose I can't expect someone who has never set foot in court to pitch it. Enough with the smugness. Out with it already. Miss Potts told us earlier. There was a Bad Badger holding a suitcase with the $1 million. According to you, the Bad Badger had a gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was holding the suitcase with his right. Isn't that correct, Mr. Potts? Yes, exactly. I'm sure it was the Bad Badger. It had those huge sunglasses on its face. If that's the case, Even I can see that there's a huge contradiction. Yes, Miss Potts claims to have seen the Bad Badger. And yet, the Bad Badger had both of his hands full. These two pieces of information contradict each other, so one must be... They are both correct. Possible. That just leaves us with an irresolvable contradiction. Miss Potts' entire statement rests on the fact that she saw sunglasses in a... But what if the Bad Badger wasn't wearing pants on it? Proves that there's a way for the Bad Badger to freely use both.
Take that!
Costumes have two parts to them, the head and the body. Oh, I get it now. The head Miss Pop saw was probably really the head of the Bad Badger. However, is it not possible that the body was that of an entirely different badger? A different badger? Yes, or to put more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. Is it? It's the Proto Badger. Yes. And it's a simple matter of process of elimination. Miss Potts was wearing the Blue Badger's costume. We can eliminate that one. The Pink Badger is of the wrong color, which would have been incredibly obvious. All it's left is the Proto Badger costume. Miss Potts, who was the one who wore the Proto Badger costume?
Not so fast!
Are you saying what I think you are? Lance Amano donned the Bad Badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon. On top of which, he plotted to shoot Miss Potts while wearing the hideous thing. The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that, a setup. Its purpose was to lead Miss Potts in believing she had committed the murder. Standing there in front of Miss Potts and pretending to be the victim. All done so she would pull the trigger. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why exactly would I have had to do all that, huh? There's but one reason. Lance Amano. You are the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What? No. It's slander. Take it back. You take it back right now. Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? My left hand. But what does that have to do with anything? Depends. According to Miss Potts, her attacker held a gun in his left hand.
Not so fast!
Who's wet-handed doesn't prove a thing. And besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the Proto Badger is bulletproof. One misfire and he would have found himself dead.
Objection!
Of course. Logically, if he had been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us. But I believe he thought of that as well and prepared accordingly. This should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure he wouldn't be hit with a bullet. The toy gun.
Take that!
We found one half of a Bad Badger costume in the hideout, a broken one. It was not the same one that the victim was wearing, plus it was missing something. And that something is a model gun that the Bad Badger carries in fire pistols. What? Miss Potts, where's the gun you use now? I threw it away into the sea. That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was. Although I believe we can safely assume it was the model gun.
Not so fast!
I've had enough. All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture. I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove it right. However, I can say that I'm probability that I am right is very high. Okay, let's pretend that you're right and that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor? I don't know yet. Ha! I knew you were full of it. However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame. Please, wait a second. It's simply not possible. Because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Liam. I came back to the hideout long after the others. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the next room. After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape. Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two of you left, right? He thought that it would attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. Planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium. But then, as I was walking through the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone. Oliver managed to escape. It looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at that time. And then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Pop saw the victim with her own eyes. Which means that the victim was still alive at that time, wouldn't you agree? Why does that sound? Must be something in the camera. What happens when I more detail?
Hold it!
You are sure that it was Mr. Deacon that you saw? Yes, I'm certain of what I saw. Did you go into the other room to check? Lance said that it was best if I didn't get too close. Lance, he's such a kind soul. Then are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself? I checked through the slit on the door that separates the two rooms. He had a bad badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure. It just had to be Mr. Deacon. I saw a bad badger head. Captive.
Hold it!
The tied up Mr. Deacon was still in his bad badger costume? Yes, and it appeared that she misread the whole situation. Now should I raise an objection? Yes. The person you saw was not the victim. What? Why not? I will tell you why. Not with this.
Take that!
Miss Pops, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all. Huh? The person you actually saw was this person. Me? It was me. The person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth? I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me after I had handed over the ransom? Not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It's to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at the time. Well, Lance, am I right? You You showed Mrs. Potts a person, namely me, with a bad badger's head on it. And then made your costume escape together. Or so you pretended. What do you mean he pretended? Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the bad badger head from my unconscious self. And to create his fake prison with the prop sword. He then escaped via the passage.
Knuckle back!
Hold your tongue, boy. Don't get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of the Mr. Prosecutor's mouth. I've heard a lot come out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and his subsequent detainment? All of that could have happened while you were out cold. That's right! You were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. Even if that were the case, Miss Potts would still have seen me tied to that beam. I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I didn't go into the next room. But I really have no idea if you were in there or not, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, it would seem that you can't prove it. Who said that? Please, wait. Mr. Amano. Oh, Miles, my boy. It looks like you're really giving it your all. Lance, it's not good to cause trouble for others. Dad. Let's see. You were the one in charge of the investigation, correct? Yeah, that's right. Sorry that my son has been nothing but trouble. Probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you. Oh, do you now? Is that what I think it is? It's the bad badger costume and the victim was wearing. And a gun. Couldn't wait around for the police, so I went and found these myself. It appears they were disposed of in the sea. There's no one in this country who actually obeys the law. There. Agent Lang, please call me. What in the heck is that scrap of paper? Please allow Mr. Amano complete freedom to do as he sees fit. What? The chief of police? What the? Who does he think he is? The person who wields the highest authority in this area. There is no need. So upset. I'm not a cop from this land. I'm not bound by the laws of your country. Now. This wasn't meant to strong-arm you. It's just a request. I'm only asking you that you please respect the laws of the land. However, returning to the topic at hand, it doesn't matter who found the evidence. Its value remains unchanged. Alright now, let's take a look at this new evidence. I've already got the results back. I have a special forensics research lab that I'm on good terms with conducting tests. They verified that the blood on this costume belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints they could find were yours, Lauren. What? You disappoint me, Miles. I can't believe that you would cause my son such stress and heartache. Thank goodness I was able to find the final pieces of evidence. But they still have no reason left to push my poor boy around. That's it? These are the case-making pieces of evidence? burnt around. Wait, those burn marks were left by gunpowder. This is the most important fact. Why is that? Because it proved that the victim was shot at point-blank range. Could this gun be the actual murder weapon? What's this? Looks like there's something inside the costume now. Hey, they sparkle. I bet they're really valuable. Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. On Miss Pop's finger. Can you let me hold it for a sec? I shouldn't if you don't know how to handle it. Besides, Miss Pop prints are on it. Look, I'm wearing gloves. It'll be okay. I just want to look, that's all. Not like I'm gonna run off with it. The only things I don't return are treasures. Stealing either one would land you in jail, you know. Well, these not the most definitive pieces of evidence you've ever seen. Thank you, Dad. This should be enough to convince even Mr. Edwards over there. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun. They prove that it was Lolly who killed Oliver. But Oliver was also after Lolly's life. Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense. No, this isn't helpful at all. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is save Lolly. But in the end, all I can do is watch on as she takes the punishment for her crime. That may be all you can do, however. I still have a case to solve and a job to do. Job of unraveling your insidious lie. You wounded me. Why won't you believe me, even in the face of all this evidence?
Hold it!
Those fingerprints, are you sure they belong to Miss Potts? There's no mistake about it. In my connections, I had the best forensics techniques money can buy before. I find that a bit peculiar. What? Are you trying to pick an argument with me? What should I do? Raise an objection? Of course. Frankly, I don't believe that Miss Potts' prints should be on that gun to begin with.
Take that!
It's simply not possible for Miss Potts to have left any prints on the murder weapon. Because while she was at the stadium, Miss Potts was wearing a costume. Huh? But there's been no mistake. We found fingerprints. Miss Potts, do you remember touching the gun at all at any time? Ah, yes. As a matter of fact, I did hold it for a bit back in the hideout. I handed it off to Mr. Deacon when he and Lance left for the haunted house. You retrieved the ransom money. There you have it. That is when Miss Pop's prints found their way onto the gun. You understand now, Mr. Romano. Fingerprints do nothing to prove that Pop's the killer. You still don't have anything to prove that she isn't the killer, right? You seem very adamant about insisting that your girlfriend is a cold-blooded killer. Oh. No way. I'm incredibly worried about her. That doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right? That's where you're wrong. I have evidence. What? The story that Miss Potts killed the victim of the whole affair is simply not true. That was not the real crime scene. It was set up. This proves that the real murder was not committed at the stadium at all.
Take that!
Let's take another good look at the costume the victim was wearing. Then I believe you'll see why I insist he was not shot at the stadium. This is the part of the costume that proves it.
Take that!
The burn around this bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at point-blank range. Oh shit. Oh shit. So then, you mean the murder Miss Oldbag saw at the stadium was really... Yes, she saw two people, but they were separated by a distance. If the victim was indeed shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be a gunpowder gun. Oh, look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Since you seem to know all the answers, why not tell us where the real crime scene is, then? Lance set me up to look like Mr. Deacon back there. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that. Location of Lance and the victim were just before I was in prison. The real location in which Mr. Deacon was killed is...
Take that!
I think it's not unreasonable to assume the murder took place in the haunted house. The haunted house? Yes, and I have proof that it is highly likely that the victim was killed there. What proves that the real scene of the crime was the haunted house? Wax.
Take that!
These were inside the costume the victim was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror. A mirror? And what does that have to do with it? Indeed, you don't exactly expect to find pieces of mirror inside a costume. Yeah, that's actually pretty dangerous. However, there's one place I can think of where there is a plethora of mirror fragments. That is the haunted house. Antimano, I propose that you kill Mr. Deacon with the revolver in the haunted house. Oh, I'm playing Clue. After that, you stole the Blue Badger mobile to move his body to the Wild Wild West area. The timing of when the Blue Badger mobile was stolen confirms this is fact. Miles, my boy, say no more. Sorry, Mr. Amano, but I can't.
Not so fast!
Be quiet. Yes, please, do something. Stop that boy from speaking any more nonsense. Ernest Amano, correct? I meant you. Now be quiet, Gramps. How dare you? I don't need words. The only thing I require is evidence. Decisive evidence. And to call these mirror bits decisive is a bit too presumptuous, Mr. Prosecutor. What? China. Wasn't there a mirror in the kidnapper's hideout? Yes, there was a mirror there. A mirror that's for the haunted house. You see, isn't it possible that the fragments got to the costume there? Agent Lang, there were no fragments on the floor, so the probability is...
Not so fast!
Probability? Lang Z says, on Truth's path, the word probability does exist. The only thing that does is definitive. Question, Mr. Prosecutor, is do you have the definitive proof you need? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you? Do I have a solid? The answer is no. See? So since you don't have any, shut up. I don't have the evidence yet, but I am certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom. At that time, the only people at the haunted house besides myself was Mr. Deacon. If I can prove that the murder took place at the haunted house, I can prove Nancy's guilt and connection to the murder. What now, Mr. Edgeworth? Agent Lang, I have a special request. Yeah? I'd like to prove to you that the scene of the crime was indeed the haunted house. Why in the world are you asking the werewolf for permission? Because I don't really have a choice. I want to find the truth. Alright, permission granted. But you're not to touch a single thing. Got it? That won't be a problem. All that's important to me is that the truth be brought to light. It doesn't matter by who or how it's done, as long as it is. Sheena. I'm here. Put the paperwork for the authorization in. Put in the paperwork for the authorization immediately. Understood. I'll go get the Gatewater Group's approval. Who was that? Now. Let's hold on for a second. There is no need to obtain approval. Mr. Amano? Agent Lang? If you would please take a look at this. What is this? Sheena. I love the binder clip on her packet. It's the deed for the haunted house. Read it? Read it out loud. Gatewater Land Inc. hereby bequeaths the property known as the haunted house to Mr. Amano for the lump sum of $1 million paid in full cash. What? Oh. As you can see, I am now the legal owner of the haunted house. Are you kidding me? When did you? I ran into the owner of the park earlier, and we made the deal almost immediately. How quickly things move when you can prepare $1 million. That $1 million you paid, don't tell me it was... Oh, that's right. This disgusting suitcase belongs to you, doesn't it? I don't have any more use for it, so you may have it back. You used the ransom money? My Lance is a good boy. He even apologized for the kidnapping a bit earlier. So I do believe that I will forgive him. After all, he did return the ransom money. That's the way things are, so if you would please discuss things from now on. Discuss? What is there to discuss? Why, permission to enter the haunted house, of course. We were busy. Sorry, Mr. Connor was out there empty. Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End of discussion. Agent Lang, I want you to arrest that girl. And Miles, you should hurry on home now. Or I really lose my... Turn on. Act in his favor here. What should I do? Leave it like this, the truth will be lost forever. To be continued. Oh, man. What a way to end now. Rich people. Oh, I'm gonna... So, yeah. I do believe that the next part is the final part of this one. I'm gonna take a little break. Back. And finish this off. Thanks for hanging out.